Hello, hello. Welcome back to Fungcast, episode 32. Our special guest today is Ohms from Entangled Mysfits. Many of you know him from his gourmet work and involvement in our little myco community. Dude, thanks for coming on the cast today, brother.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Spark up here in the morning.
You know, a little afternoon wake and bake.
Morning, afternoon, midday, all day.
So how's it going, man? What's going on?
It's going good. I've just been enjoying the summer, taking some time off. It tends to get really, really hot where I live, so I don't grow mushrooms when it's really, really hot. So tend to do a lot more like events and getting out in nature. Yeah, just been doing more events, more music festivals.
I see that you went to the boot camp
Yeah,
recently. How was that?
sick. That was so dope. Such a sweet sight. Haven't been there before to the nursery, so it's so rad to see the nursery and to see Melissa and Justin's spot all set up and everybody there, the vendors. And yeah, it was super rad. It was a cool little community. You feel like more like grassroots movement. It was rad.
Absolutely, man. And what did you do there? Did you do like a little cooking
I
expo kind of thing?
got the Ohms Collective. So Ohms Collective is my superfood mushroom company, and we make superfood chocolate bars and lemon bars, as well as nut butters. And we have a cacao mix that I make with wild lion's mane, cacao, maca, cordyceps, turmeric, cinnamon, and then hell yeah, that's it. That's the one. Fuck yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you, by the way, for the little pack.
yeah, dude. The cacao de mica is one of my favorites. We've been doing a lot of like events where we'll bring like a hot chocolate mix and make it there on site. And people are always just like, "Oh fuck, where do I get this blend from?" And I'm like, come back and get some more hot cocoa." So just recently, I started bagging the cacao, and it's been a hit. We sold a bunch to a couple restaurants here in town as their like display and adding them to their menus for their drinks in the morning.
Nice, man.
It's been good.
When you prepare your cacao, do you add any like sweetener to it, or is it?
No sweetener, just the maca in there is really nice. It adds for like that extra like maltiness and like the texture. And then the cordyceps and the lion's mane, I feel like already add like a kind of sweetness to them. I don't know if you've ever tried like the cordyceps powder, like extract powder, but it has like
I haven't.
sweeter profile to it, especially like cordyceps too. Drinking it, I just feel like it's kind of sweet on its own. Um, but yeah, no sweetener in the mix at all. It's all just ready to go. You can always add like maple or honey. We add stevia because it's a good sweetener that isn't really a sugar per se. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, dude, um, when you're not out and doing the myco, what are you doing for fun? Yeah, with your free time.
Yeah. I I was like, I like to go foraging for mushrooms.
Same, man.
Yeah, I definitely do a lot of mushroom oriented fun things outside of like the lab and working in the kitchen and stuff. I feel like music festivals is a really great way for me to get out there and have fun and still be like in the mushroom realm, but also in the music realm. Just I love dancing. I love going out, just
Dude,
bass and
E-Force is coming up.
E-Force.
Have you ever been?
Never heard of E-Force. Is that
I
in
think
Florida?
it's like up in I think it's in Michigan.
Oh,
Could be wrong.
interesting.
Uh but it's like a jam band electric music
Nice.
festival. I have some friends going. Ludacris is gonna be there, dude. It would be cool to see Ludacris
Oh,
live,
fuck, that'd be crazy.
right?
I always go to those. There's Dirty Bird does like a hip hop special acts, and like I think it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they brought in Too Short as like a surprise guest.
Really?
all electronic, drum and bass, house music, and then like out of nowhere, Too Short shows up, and it was like,
Yeah,
what? So it's fucking yeah. I like going to these festivals that have like surprise guests or like a mix of music, so you see different people from different types of genres that you normally.
absolutely, man. What kind of music do you listen to? What are you
I'm a
feeling lately?
hardcore hip hop head. I love I love hip hop. It's probably like 70% of the music I listen to.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I love like all like 90s hip hop, like Tribe Called Quest, Tupac, Big L, um, Eminem.
Yeah, dude, your
Yeah,
lab music must be freaking awesome. Must be
yeah, yeah.
bumping, dude.
Bumpin'. I love like bass heavy sound. I have like a subwoofer in my car, and I just keep it on loud, and just like the entire car is just like vibrating, and I just like feel this like connection to being a mushroom. I don't know, with like the different sounds and vibrations and like you know
Feel like it's like we're almost those. Have you ever seen the videos where people put the little alligator clips on mushrooms and then they kind of play mushroom music?
yeah, yeah, they like you're tapping into like their language of what they're giving off and like the different frequencies and vibrations and stuff. It's
Absolutely. I gotta do that. Ooh, that's way better.
it's sunny out there in Florida. You guys heard you guys just got flooded out, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm honestly stoked about it. It's been so dry. There hasn't been any mushrooms growing. So past like 4 days, it's been raining like a significant amount, and I've kind of been stuck in the garage doing freaking grain work
Yeah.
um, the whole week. So I'm actually stoked to go out and see what's growing.
Oh yeah. Nice.
But it's been humid this summer. It's not even stick. It's I guess it's just it's. I say this summer. Excuse me. Say the summer because I feel like summer started early down in Florida.
It looks sunny out there. It's like it's hot.
Let's see the temps. It's oh, it's 86 right now. But it feels
Nice.
like 95.
With the humidity too. I'm not a humidity person. I like the dry desert or like dry heat is definitely the way.
I've gotten experience of dry heat a couple times, and it is pretty nice. Um, but I'm so used to the humid heat at this point, and just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So where are you actually? If you...
I'm in Southern California. It's like Ventura County, kind of like 2 hours north of LA.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool, man.
yeah, it's nice. We're like very close to the beach, and also close to the mountains. So I've got like the two different sides, or two different playgrounds, I'd say. Um,
Right, completely different environments.
yeah, I'm definitely more of a mountain boy myself, and fucking just running around trails, mountain biking. Um, I love going out in ventures and hiking out to the. We have like a couple river bottoms and like rivers that we go to that we can just like hike out like an hour or half an hour, and there's like big water holes to jump in. And uh,
What?
yeah, it used to not be like this year round, but like within the last like 3 years, we got a lot more rain, and we've just been enjoying the heavy rivers and water flow all year round, which is really nice.
How's the water temperature of those? Is that is it a little chilly?
It's yeah, it was pretty chilly yesterday, but it was really nice. It was like hot out here. It was probably like high 80s out here, and the water was probably like 60.
Golly
It's
gee.
it's chilly, but it's like it's refreshing, really refreshing.
I would probably turn into an icicle if I jumped into 60-degree water right now.
It's definitely yeah, it was definitely chilly at one point. I was like, I just got to go lay out in the sun for a while.
Well, Get
Yeah.
like just be like a lizard laying a rock, you know. Yeah.
But yeah.
What should we call it? Foraging, man. So you said you've been doing that the past couple of days, or
Days not so much. I definitely forage when it's more rainy and wet season. Kind of like the last foraging for me was like, well, the last foraging was like in May, but I went up to Oregon for morels.
nice?
Been doing the chasing the year after burn morels, which has been a lot of fun. And yeah, the morel salt,
Get
fucking
some more else salt.
miss morel salt. Yeah, I'm actually in the process of dehydrating the fourth batch going through, and I feel like it's the best one. Like every year, I just get better and better at making the process and like the ratio and just like how to properly blend in the morels and my wife is gone for this week, so she doesn't like the morel stank that's left in the house when I'm making this morel salt, because it literally just like the entire house smells like morels. And
Oh man,
I take all the dehydrated like kind of B C grade morels that I have, and I'll blend them into like a powder, and then or like a coarse powder, and then I'll put that into a stock pot with water, like probably like half a gallon of water, a little more than maybe like a gallon of water. And then I'll let that boil and simmer for like a couple hours and just like reduce down by like 40%, 50%. And then I'll add like a bunch of salt. I did like 4 pounds of salt this time. Add all the salt in, mix it all around, and then I put it out on trays and dehydrate it. Um, and this year I feel like it's just like a really proper ratio, just like really well done, and it's like
it
very,
tastes really good so
yeah,
far.
yeah,
That's cool, man. I've been dabbling with trying to just make some salt myself, just
yeah,
with like spare mushrooms I've had since I started this whole gourmet journey.
yeah, yeah. A nice little collection of just like all the dried mushrooms left over. Salt's like the most like versatile thing where you just like mix in the flavor and then you just put it everywhere.
Right?
Great.
It's
Yeah.
kind of funny how like salt is, the perfect amount of it will really boost the flavors of the whatever you're eating. But also on the other side, way too much salt is miserable.
Yeah, I've definitely had that. You're just like, ooh, that was too much salt, and you can't go back. You're like, fuck, what do I do? I definitely try like adding more ingredient that isn't salty into it if I can, if possible. But yeah, once you go too salty, it's kind of just like kind of sets it.
Yeah, but that's the journey and beauty of like just cooking and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know general. Um, and I feel like cooking nowadays is fairly, I mean, fairly easy for the most part. Like the recipe, there's so many recipes out there,
Yeah,
and as long as you could just follow instructions and look at temperatures, pretty
yeah. Do
pretty
you
fo-
do you cook a lot yourself with mushrooms?
I honestly I don't cook a lot with mushrooms, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I've been getting more into it now
Mm,
that I'm just growing a bunch of gourmets and doing that.
nice.
Uh, through like I have like some medical, I have a colitis, so I kind of just cook clean, man. I'm pretty much, I like kind of grilled chicken and like eat
Nice.
basmati rice and green beans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just like a nice, clean diet. Simple but straight to the point. You know.
Yeah, get some like yogurt, some granola in there. But
Nice.
realistically, I try to stay away from dairy.
Yep. Yeah. Same. Same. It's hard. I love cheese. I mean, fucking. If I could be, I'd be more addicted to cheese, but it just doesn't work for my body.
Dude, I didn't think I love cheese, but I don't necessarily love it as much as I have loved it in my life, throughout my life. If that makes sense. Now it's like I could deal with like one slice of Munster cheese on some eggs and be totally okay. Whereas like back in the day, I could eat a whole pack of cheese, no problem.
Yeah, cheesy pizza with extra cheese, cheese
Oh,
crust. Yeah,
100%, dude. Bring back cheesy crust,
bring back the cheesy crust,
stuffed
please.
crust. You know,
So so good.
dude,
So
who like even does that anymore? Pizza Hut or Domino's or one of those companies?
Domino's was doing it like a couple years back. Pizza Hut. I feel like I haven't been to Pizza Hut forever. I could make you some cheesy crust. I mean, shit, dude.
Dude, I'll come over. Come over
When
for
you
some
do it, make
dinner.
pizza, just like pull over a little bit more of that crust and then just like stuff some cheese in there. Fucking twist it
I
back
feel
up.
like it looks that simple, but there's no way it's that simple.
To let you know that it's actually that simple.
Can't allow people to know that it's that simple.
It's that simple. Yeah, a lot of the cooking that I do now these days is just more about like techniques. I have like 12 years of experience working fine dine and restaurants and the hotline. I love being in the kitchen. Like it's one of my favorite playgrounds to be in. And as of recently, I've kind of stepped out of that more and more into the mushroom world. But I love the fire and the crazy, high demand and pressure and like shit flying everywhere. And you're just like, I've got, fucking 40 tickets on the line, 10 chickens, 10 lambs, just like running all these different things. And I'm just there, just like, this is just such a chill place to be. Like it's wild, but it's just like I'm in that flow state, and it's just like I've been obviously eating some mushrooms here and there and smoking cannabis, just like a good way to get in a flow state more. Um, but yeah, it's just like when it comes to cooking for me at like home, it's just like I have all these like ways of knowing how to like cook different things, like add different things, how to like braise meats, sear things, dry cook things, like sous vide. I mean, there's just so many different techniques and ways of cooking to like elevate, you know, like a simple meal into something like a little bit more elaborate, but like still easy, doesn't have to get too crazy. Uh,
Dude, that's kind of what I'm trying to learn, man. As far as like the mushrooms, yeah, for the most part, I usually just default to sautéing them on some like steak,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
super good.
Um, with lion's mane, I like to make crab cakes with
Yep.
them.
Yep. The crab cakes are really good. It's kind of where we go to mostly. It's the crab cakes and yeah, just sauteing them, add into like scrambles or stir fries or
Ooh, a scramble. I didn't even think about that, dude.
scrambles fire. You have to have like it has to be like smaller pieces of the lion's mane because like I know when you get like chunks and you bite into a chunk, like damn, that was a fucking scallop from this forest, like I wasn't ready for that at like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then also there's like I've been kind of messing more with like taking like full steak sizes of lion's mane and just like pressing them down. Yeah, and then adding flavor to that and just being able to make like these like delicious steaks and
Dude,
the flavor profile in the lion's mane when you don't cut it up, it just like all like absorbs and like stays in there and like marinates its own juices while it's searing, and it's just like it's quite a treat. It's really good.
I was actually reading a recipe, something similar. It was like a fish sandwich made with the lion's mane steak, and then it was like battered, like dry batter. I think from North Spore could be.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, um, and I've been meaning to make that. I actually went out and bought all the ingredients, but freaking made like 700 pounds of grain this week so far.
Yeah, yeah. Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
it's a lot of grain.
a lot of grain, my dude. Damn.
I'm making like another 100 pounds or so after this cast, bro.
Yeah, it's like 800 pounds a week.
That's just for this week. That's not every week. I'd like it to be every week, but
Is that like
ebbs and flows of being an entrepreneur.
yeah, yeah? Is that like a more busier week for you, or you've probably done busier than 800, or like kind of like what is that in like your realm of?
That's like fairly busy. That's a lot of grains. Um, I'd say probably, but I don't know. I think like the it kind of all slowed down as much, or like business slowed down more than it was, a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So definitely blessed to have that this week for sure. But I mean, for the most part, I'm just kind of paying the bills,
Yeah, totally.
trying to save up a couple of pennies here and there, but definitely not out there big balling like Bill Gates yet.
The Bill Gates of grains. Yeah, man. That's still a lot of grain, man. I do like probably like 50 to 60 pounds of grain in like per like rotation, or probably like 100 pounds at most for like what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
that's still a lot. Like that's a good amount of work where I'm like, all right, I gotta just fucking like plug it in. So now I'm like timesing that by like 8 or 10 and being like, holy shit, that is fucking good amount of work, bro.
Yeah, dude.
That's
It's
it.
it was fucking a lot. It's been a lot of work. My hip hurts right now. I feel like an old man. But that's just the name of the game, you know what I mean? I love serving the people, all of this
Fuck yeah.
stuff. And I'm thinking about actually getting not thinking about it. Well, I'm thinking about it, which is going to turn into doing, but I'm going to start kind of teaching people more and being more and I don't want to come off like a gatekeeper.
Yeah, but just like teaching folks how to work with grain and maybe like some different tips and secrets of the trade that you've gotten down at your 800 pound, or maybe even like 1,000 pound. I'm sure there's some things that you could like teach me on how to like be more efficient. I feel like that's like
Yeah, I think that's all. It just seems like there's a lot of information out there for people teaching the kind of like a lot of the same thing, just worded differently.
yeah.
Um, Whereas like I think like it's like when you're pasteurizing substrate, there's a lot of articles that say that pasteurize your substrate for 90 minutes,
Mhm.
but like none of them tell you that you have to get your temperature up to your substrate temperature up to that targeted temperature first before you set your timer.
Right.
So it's like 90 minutes
Sucks.
is like a very small portion of that, because it could be 12 hours under heat before you're at,
Right.
you know,
90 minutes.
whatever.
Yeah. The like 90-minute cooking time, as opposed to like being like, all right, I'm starting it now and I'm turning it off in 90 minutes. No,
Yeah.
not
It's
quite.
like you have to like start it now, turn it off in 12 hours, and then start your timer for 90 minutes.
Damn, that's a big ass batch too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. The grain thing for me has definitely been like an ongoing, when I was like, oh, I fucking got this down, and then like I'll like double my size or triple my like capacity, and then be like, wait a minute, why isn't this grain thing? And then like go back and be like, oh yeah, I need to like you know, for me, it was like really just like getting down the like cooking and drying temperature, because it like fluctuates. Like sometimes we just bag it like wet, and most times we would bag it dry, try to like get as much after we're done like cooking it. We would like dump all the grain, and then when we're ready to bag it, that was like the phase of like how far do we let this stuff kind of like dry out, or how fast can we just like
Yeah.
pick it up and like pressure cook it. And yeah, that was a big point. And then also like the drying rack, I felt like we converted this like I converted this like weed like uh like tray, and like this like 4x3 weed tray that you put like little pods and stuff, and just like layered it with some screen, and then put like some reinforcements so the screen didn't go down. And was able to like get enough surface area to like really let that like grain dry out instead of like being all clumpy and shit and just being like whatever, I'm just gonna stack it on and just like try to fucking make it work. And yeah, I mean, if there was a class, a master class on grain, like I'd take it still, you know what I mean? Like there's still
No,
to learn on on grains. So yeah.
dude. I mean, you know, I like. I don't do no. A lot of people do no soak, no prep, or no soak, no simmer, or whatever. That I don't even know how to say the term.
No,
um.
no summer yet. So
Uh. And it's never really worked well for me.
yeah.
You know, I cold start the grains, and kind of like that's the same thing with grains as it is for freaking substrate, right? People are like, I boil them for 15 minutes, but it's like, yeah, but you cold start it. So it's like you get up to like your whatever your boiling is because like I don't know, I don't go to a rolling boil ever.
Yeah. I try to keep it
Yeah,
at like a simmer, like a
I keep
couple.
it like a little. I want to say it's like a little just before a boil, but not a simmer. The
Mhm.
bubbles are starting to turn into like bigger underwater farts. Yeah, you know what I mean. Everybody was gonna be able to relate to that one.
It's the way to describe it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get that. Just right before it starts to actually like bubble, but it's like building the bubbles up.
It like yeah, so like honestly, the bubbles will come, but like I've had it to where like, but to get a 150 quart pot like rolling boil is gosh, you have to arguably forget about the pot being over the flame. You know what
Right.
I mean? But it's um yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like you get up to like so it's like say it's like I just made a video. It was actually 47 minutes from cold start to drying rack,
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That was sick. That was dope. That was like
and like
see the real timing on that because it's like people are always like, "Oh, you got to boil it for 30 minutes," and it's like, well, I tried that and it kind of didn't work. So I don't know. There's like just like different techniques of like how much time exactly and like setting a timer because it's like you're fucking running around doing a bunch of things. Like grain is just one of the things you're doing. So it's like
no, I
yeah.
don't recommend setting a timer. I don't like I don't know. Maybe I'm just I can only speak for myself
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how other people work. But like I gotta go by the scoop. You know, if you scoop the grains when you first put it in the pot, you can feel that they're not hydrated. It's almost like you're like, you know, I know it's probably it's not the same, but it's like I'm cooking rice,
I mean, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And like I want to keep the pot moving, so all of the grains continuously, you know, expand rather than just the ones at the bottom because they're the ones getting blasted with the heat. So it's like I'll like scoop it or I'll mix it like probably 12 plus times, you know. Sometimes I get like just like OCD and think, you know, I'm a little stoned. I forgot I mixed it. So I go back like 15 seconds later and mix it again just to be
yeah.
safe.
Nice.
But I mean, the scoop gets thicker. Like, you know, it's like as if just like with rice, like compared to like when it's like fresh, you could just move it all around, finally hydrates, so then you feel it. And if as far as like burst grains go, you know what I mean? I think burst grains are good.
Yeah,
Not all burst grains. You can't have all your grains burst, but like bursting, I guess. But I mean, for the most part, if it does happen and you have proper sterile techniques, it doesn't matter anyways.
right.
And it's just more, it's easier food for the mycelium to start
Yeah,
digesting.
it's nice to have like a little ratio of like some bursted kernels or yeah,
Bursted.
like
Yeah.
not the full pot because that's too much. I've been there. I just like come back and I'm like, fuck, shit.
Dude, the first time I ever made grains, it was with wild bird seed. And I just put it on the pot. Like, put it in the pot with
Yep,
like hardly, mostly bird seed, and then the rest water.
yep,
Um, just walked away, dude. I was like, all right, it's gonna just do its thing, and I'm gonna come back to hydrated grains.
Mhm.
And golly gee, what a horrific sight that was. I'd
Yes.
say that pot is still permanent, like it's still burnt to this day from the birdseed.
Shit. Yeah. I don't think I've ever worked with birdseed. Trying to think back, but no.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah. I figured I was like, like I was looking around and I started out with rye and I like that, but it was just like I couldn't get my like cooking technique down properly for properly hydrating it. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump over to someone introduced me to millet, and I was like, probably like a week or two, and I was like, fuck this. And then I like dipped out. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go do corn for a bit, and corn was really nice until I was doing like oyster cultivation, and like I was just needing more like smaller points of an inoculation, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna try something else. And Milo was presented to me like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and I've been with it ever since. And it's really great. I'm still trying to like dial it all in, but Milo I feel is like the best grain for sure. It's just like easy to work
Dude, for
with.
sure. I
Yeah.
feel that I've been on the same kind of like the first ever try, like first attempt was wild bird seed. Then I tried popcorn, and I failed horribly with popcorn. I know so many people who do very well with popcorn, but it's the only popcorn that works with me is like the random popcorn kernel that I get in my Milo bag. Uh, and then
That's funny. The popcorn was nice. It was really good. It was good, but it's just like I don't know. Just needed like smaller points for an inoculation for me. But it was really good, and it was just like really.
I like to shout out Sporehead. He uses the Jiffy popcorn, and it's like they're smaller than the feed popcorn.
Yeah, 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 that's right.
Uh, so it's like, but I'd say it's more expensive probably. But he's like one of the corn masters of the community, man. Wheat berries, dude. I had wheat berries for a while, and that was good. I learned for that wheat berries are just rye without the casing or whatever.
Yeah, without the like the brain around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and oats, man. Oats and I we have some we got some problems, dude. I'm so bad with oats.
I didn't even try it. It's just like
I'm gonna say shout out to all the oats growers out there. You guys rock because I can't do it.
hold it down. But yeah, yeah, the Milo's been nice, and just like
But the drying rack, dude. I was gonna say I use like a for the longest time I used a 70-gallon bin, one of those HGX bins.
Yep.
Got some like metals, like almost like fencing kind of from Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
Put a piece of screen over the top of that, and I took two little like quarter-inch pieces of wood
Mm-hmm.
and put them about like this is like 6 inches, right? No, I'm just kidding. This is about put them probably about like an inch, and some change apart. Just
Mm-hmm.
place the screen over that, and I used two of those for my drying rack for years. I literally just built a new one, not even I think the beginning of this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really handy. They're just like when you get like a bigger one, a bigger drying rack, and it's just like I don't know, it just like makes sense like to convert something and just like make a table out of it. Or I don't know. I was doing like I had a kitchen like speed rack, and then I had like sheet trays, like big old kitchen sheet
Yeah,
trays, and I would just like stack my grain like that, and it was cool. But then I was getting like the top layers would fuck up all the bottom layers, and I was just like, all right, I gotta fucking figure something else out.
what I've noticed is like honestly mixing the grains like when it's on the drying rack
Yep.
because uh, when I pour all of the water and stuff directly in like just
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
So all that residual water is still kind of at the very bottom of the rack.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed if you make like a trench where like it'd be the wettest part of the like where your grains are drying,
Mm,
and
yeah,
just kind of like dry that area specifically.
yeah,
Usually, like the grains will be sticky when they're ready. Like if you like mix them with your hand, you like pull it off, and you have like a bunch of Milo grains stuck to your hand.
yeah,
You're good to go, dude.
yeah. I like to mix all my grain around too, and just like make sure like the top and the bottom are properly mixed around, and like wherever it's pooling in the middle, I'm just like, all right, let's just keep moving around. And we like to like do like a like 3 to 4 hours now on the drying rack. Like we try to not go overnight, so there's no like leftover like dew like dew in the morning and like whatever
Yeah,
content built up. Like we try to like get it down right in that sesh, and if we got to do a double sesh, then we do like back to back. But yeah, moving the grain around, like even in the pot, like you're saying, moving like when it's boiling and like coming to boil, like just making sure that's like properly being cooked and like distributed, and the water's all like mixed in together, and it's not just like sitting.
yeah,
That's a super great technique, and like, and then putting it on the drying rack and mixing it around too is like I started just doing that. Just like it just feels good, like having your hands like in all the grains and just like moving them all around. You're just like, all right, cool, and like kind of like a meditation sort of for me, and just like that whole process just be more like a meditation. I'm sure for you,
dude.
like
It's like it is, and it's like you're putting your energy into like these grains. It's not just like a machine turning and burning grain bags. I got my elbows in this.
yeah, you listen to some good jams or something. You're just like fucking getting it. Just like all right,
Oh
so,
yeah, man. I kind of started listening to the Bloodhound Gang, again yesterday.
yeah,
Usually, I get a couple of phases of them, rotations a year. So I think this is the first one.
tap back into them.
Um, and I think, what you call it, dude. I only have the grains on there sometimes for like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour on
Yeah,
the. But I got a little fan from Home Depot,
nice. I don't have a fan.
and I blow dude, fan
Fan's a
game changer. If
game
you
changer.
just get a small fan, even like a cheap oscillating fan, not really. They're not gonna like. I got like an industrial fan. It was like $170,
It's not bad.
and it was like honestly the best thing I've done.
Yeah,
Everybody who's listening, get a fan if you're doing grains.
you get a fan. I'm like taking this little break right now to like look at my system and be like, how can I be more efficient? Like, what ways can I be more efficient? Like, upgrades can I make to like just have a better flow? And it's just like get a fan for your grains. Like, should have thought of that
It's
earlier.
the smaller things, man. It's just
Yeah,
I had I had like a bin that I was using. It was all rusty, and just got rust on everything, and it was like driving me insane. And I used it for months like this. And one day, this is like my buddy Mark. He was like, "Why don't you just put a tarp in it?" And I was like, "You're a genius, my dude." You know what I mean? You're a genius, my dude. It blew my mind.
things. Yeah, yeah. It's so crazy. Yeah.
So, are you? So, like, are you cultivating currently? Are you actively cultivating?
I cultivate like during like the not summer months or season. I
Nice.
cultivate. I try to cultivate with just like the weather pattern, kind of doing things that are more like. I try to do cordyceps in the winter when it's like super cold because
Yeah.
it just makes sense.
Do you know Drew, Uncle Fungus?
Yeah, I've been following him and I know his work. Yeah,
He's like he like does like mushroom farming sometimes, and he bases it off of the seasons, and I think it's like one of the coolest things ever.
yeah.
Drew is a
It's,
dope person.
Drew's a super diverse, and I've been following him for like the past year and a half, and just like seeing all of his work, and just even more recently, just the way he incorporates more of the mushrooms into the cooking world and just like applications and just like teaching so much. It's so rad. It's cool.
Yeah, man. Freaking a.
Yeah.
You kind of on like a similar path. You guys, in the sense of showing the world the gourmet side of things, and it's like even I think it's really cool having that extra skill set and being able to do all of those things. Whereas, like, I may be able to cultivate the gourmet as my cooking experience is not nearly as vast as yours is. So, um, I find myself kind of struggling with being able to give people like certain advice on
Mhm.
cooking or preparation of um, some mushrooms, which I'm
Yeah.
working on. But it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I definitely want to like that's something that my intentions are for this year is just teaching more mushroom cooking classes and um just getting out of my comfort zone and like getting more in front of like a group and just teaching, teaching what I know because it's just I have a lot of really good experience and like I love teaching just in the kitchen in general and like showing people how to like different techniques or like different ways to cook something or being more efficient and like little things, like um and like yeah, just like really setting up like a way to teach people more about like how to incorporate mushrooms into their daily meals. Like you don't have to go out of your way to like get a mushroom recipe for something. Like you can just take mushrooms of any kind, saute them, braise them, you know, um,
yeah,
bake
just like you
with
said,
them.
simple as adding it to a scramble. It doesn't have to be a 5 course. While I say like the lion's mane crab cakes are awesome, preparation is kind of a bitch. Sometimes you just want to throw down something simple, quick and easy, like a stir fry or
Mhm. Yeah, stir fry, scramble, like in a sandwich or something. I don't know. Just like I've seen like even not all mushrooms, depending if they're grown. I mean, lion's mane is a tricky one. I eat lion's mane raw, like whenever I go out foraging for it, and I find one off the tree. It's kind of mine and my buddies, my buddy Amoon. We go out forage them, and then we'll like find them, and we'll like take a little bit of the strand, and we'll like eat some of the lion's mane raw, just like where are your brothers and sisters and cousins? Like we're still looking, we're trying to tap in and stuff. But I know some people don't say like eat mushrooms raw,
it's a
but
barbaric way of tapping into the mycelial network.
do some crazy stuff out there. Um,
I'm gonna eat your whole family.
yeah, I mean, yeah, foraging, eating mushrooms. I just definitely my intention this year is to like try to get more into that like teaching workshops and teaching classes about mushrooms and um, just showing
Same,
people.
man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like that you said that about teaching more courses about grain and getting more
Well, I
into
think
that.
it's like the new wave, right? Of
Yeah,
the whatever's going on right now. I'm kind of having conversations with some people just out of like my, just seeing where everything's going right now. The direction it's going towards is events, public speaking, doing the whole like branding
yeah,
and all that stuff. Um, and I'm here for it. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of, I just didn't, I just needed to accept change more. Then after I accepted change, I'm like, all right, this is what it is. There was the phase of like everybody just balls to the walls, bulk growing,
yeah, yeah.
and
Grow. Yeah,
there's now it's like changing into more of like an education standpoint. May that be like cultivation or like integration of life, integrating mushrooms into your life may it be like psychedelic or functional, or and I'm just trying to like give my 2 cents, so to speak. I
yeah.
think been doing
That's
it long enough to where like I might have some valuable stuff to say, and
totally.
there's a couple of things that I haven't really told the public of how I do it. So I have some content that I'd be able to provide, and I think it'd be a cool little way to really just start. That's really spreading. That's spreading the mycelium network right there, my dude.
That's fucking rad. That's awesome. Yeah, doing more of the teaching is like, yeah, just teaching more of the people who don't know or do know, or just like that education part of like, people like coming to learn what these mushrooms actually do for us, and like in different ways, whether it's like cultivation or in the food scene, or like just like health benefits. Like I feel like mushrooms are still making their like come on the scene,
Debut.
like, yeah, their debut. Like they're just like they're making their like comeback, but they're also like we're still so like far from like understanding that, like, I mean, the main like public is still like far from understanding like food is medicine, and like the more that we tap into these mushrooms that have preventative health benefits for us, and that like actually do really really good for us, like the more that we'll be able to like cultivate more mushrooms and like supply more products, and like, more people that are educated, the more people are going to want mushrooms, because it's like a no-brainer. It's like these mushrooms are really good for you, and like, you know
Yeah, man, I think a lot of people don't know, um, and it's also and I'll be the first person to admit that I'm guilty of saying, why don't you just look it up online like everybody else did?
yeah.
But in like hindsight, it's actually intimidating, um, in so many aspects of just looking it up online. It's like, first off, you look up lion's mane, like nobody knows. Like, you know what I mean? It's like either you know what lion's mane is or you don't.
Right.
And it's like as far as the general public is concerned, mushrooms are like, there's like on the pie chart, it was like, so it's like portobello's, and then like will kill you.
It's so great. I love that.
So
Portobello.
it's we've bottlenecked the science into growing agaricus bisporus, and
Mm,
just naturally over time that has turned into like the societal mushroom,
right.
which is absolutely bonkers considering that there's so many other mushrooms that are just as easy to grow and
And
they taste so much better.
I always go into restaurant, like when I go into restaurants and they're like, "Oh, we have mushrooms." I'm like, "Well, what kind of mushrooms?" I'm always like, "What kind?" I'm like, "Oh, cremini or brown mushroom or whatever." Nah, I'm good. Like, I think I'm gonna pass on that one. Like, I was looking for something more like exotic and flavorful. Like it's just like I've seen it so much in the culinary scene. They're like people like, "Oh, I love mushrooms," and they like pop out like, yeah, portobellos or creminis, and I'm just like, oh my god, man, it
Dude,
just
that you just thought that's like a good solid business idea. Like, oh, what kind of mushrooms do you have? Oh, you don't have lion's mane? Well, here's my business card.
exactly. I mean, like I feel like as like people who are more like business owners and entrepreneurs of the scene, like it's our responsibility to teach people more about this, right? Like educate people how like
Absolutely.
wonderful this medicine is, and how wonderful these mushrooms are, and just like the relationship they're cultivating. Even like, I don't know, it's just I'm so grateful that I like kept going down the rabbit hole, like from foraging to growing mushrooms, and then like integrating that into like the culinary scene that I do. Like, I don't know, it's just like such a wonderful relationship with the mushrooms, and like the full spectrum of like the human experience to mushroom experience. And
Dude, it's a circle of life, right? Like you're really getting to experience exactly. It's not just the um final product, which is uh which is a lot of people's experience with mushrooms. A lot of people's experience with a lot of shit in this society is just the final product.
Right.
And I think that's kind of why I will say, like, I give a lot of respect to hunters, in the sense of, like, they're really, it's like they argue, like, hunters arguably give the most respect if you're using the animal for like 100% of its, you're eating and you're showing the animal respect,
Right.
versus, like, trophy hunting is not cool. That's just, I don't think that's right. But yeah, it's like where, like, as like the foragers, it's like you're the hunter that didn't kill, like, you know what I mean, that didn't, you're still kind of killing something. You just,
Still kind of like that stuff. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I
but I
always
mean,
more as
yeah,
lions
you have it.
here, I always leave like a little bit in the tree, or like not a little bit, but like a good portion of it. Or like when I go to forage chanterelles, I always leave like an extra patch, or like
Oh yeah, dude.
you know,
I don't whatchamacallit, can't pick the whole patch. Don't be disrespectful to the patch
yeah,
for providing you some
maybe
delicious, like, scrumdiddlyumptious yummies.
exactly. And you always want to like leave some there for the next year, so it like can kind of reconstitute back into mycelium, go back to the ground, do its
Yeah,
thing.
mycelium's fucking weird.
Yeah,
Mushrooms, like, they just like melt and then they come back.
it's so crazy. It blows my mind. Yeah,
Same.
they're they're really awesome. I definitely have been enjoying mushrooms to the fullest, and like wanting to get more into the teaching space, and like wanting to even go back to my culinary school that I graduated from and like teach, even if it's just like a crash course on like mushrooms, but like more of like the benefits of mushrooms, because there's a lot of like growers that I talk to that are like, damn, like how do I get more chefs on board to buy more mushrooms and use more mushrooms to feed the public, and so on and so forth. And just goes back to education, just like how much.
Dude, that's what, honestly, my whole, like, little ramble started because of that, and what it kind of just came back, but the intimidation behind the unknown, fears from the unknown. A lot of people don't know what these gourmet mushrooms are, because we've been hardwired to believe that there's only one mushroom that's edible to eat in 3 different stages of life or something like that. Like that. No, I'm just kidding.
There's
There's a couple, but
so many mushrooms that are edible, and so many mushrooms
and yeah,
medicinal.
dude. No, there's just like, we need to teach people about the preparation. We need to teach people about
Right.
what these mushrooms are, how they can be used. All of this, like, I guess, documented research that we've done. We should just tell people how to do it,
Yeah.
and there are a
Maybe.
lot of people out there doing it, but I think more of the world needs to hop on as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. It needs to be more than just creminis on pizzas. You know what I mean? There should be like shiitake
Yeah,
and oysters. I mean, you could put
dude,
anything on pizza. You know what I mean? Like,
lion's mane, oysters. Like, I want like a pink, golden, blue oyster with a little bit of lion's mane and some artichokes.
some artichokes, some pepperoni, maybe on there,
Yeah, fucking
like
A.
sausage or something.
Sausage. I'm a big fan of black olives.
Black olives are really. I was gonna say, yeah, I got to throw some black olives and like red onions. I don't know what your vibe. It's like
Ooh,
much.
supreme dream over here.
Got to stack it up.
Coming soon, the Ohms mushroom pizza video.
Fire. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I want to do more of that too. Like, I'm not the best on like social media and posting and stuff like that, and like doing videos, but I'm definitely kind of getting more into that like creative, like, oh fuck it, what if I did like, kind of like start taking videos and photos of more of like the cooking that I do, but if it just like you said, just like sauteing some mushrooms over steak, like I did that the other night. I like kind of took some video of it, and I was like, all right, now I just got to take the time to like put this together as a reel and like edit it all up and all that. But yeah, just feel like getting more out of my comfort zone and doing that, you know,
Dude, I use an app. It's called Video Leap.
video leap.
I'll send you it on
Yeah, please do.
and it works well, man. I paid for like a year, but it was fairly cheap, and you
Cool. I'm
could
gonna check
you
it
could
out.
get a free version, but it just watermarks your videos.
Cool.
I don't
Nice.
got time for that.
Yeah, seriously.
But that's the kind of shit, dude. It's like that's what I'm realizing. It's like I'm sometimes I'll be doing just my regular everyday things, and then I'm like, oh, this would make a great video,
Yep.
and
Damn.
and it's like that's like the small little nuances. For the most part, I think as far as education is concerned, it's like we already understand like the basics,
Mhm.
the basic understanding of like what temperatures need to be done, like achieved, how
Mhm.
long we need to do it, how to
Right.
make something.
Right.
But now it's like, now it's like that next level is genuinely showing like the small little things that you could do to improve your efficiency
Mhm.
and just the way you're working through experience of just doing it over and over and over and over again for the past however many years.
Right. Yeah. Now it's like back a hand for you. Now you're just like, I just wake up, smoke a bowl, you know, get my jams on, fucking do my thing. And it's like, you're just doing things that like already such flow for you that like, yeah, what's the next stage? Like, what do you do next? You know, it's like getting more into teaching workshops and like teaching about how you're doing these certain things. Like, that's super rad and inspiring and kind of like on the same page that I'm on. And then, yeah, like, how do we educate more and like make it simple for like the whole way across, like from, you know, people who are in the lab or people who are making grain and substrate, to people who are in the lab, to people who are cultivating, to like the, you know, people who are like spreading out the mushrooms, whether they're like spores or the farmer's market or like chefs, you know, people in like apothecaries, like it just like so many different avenues and like trying to like better understand and like better help that flow from like the very beginning to the end and like that full cycle again of like, you know, just how nature already naturally flows like in that cycle. It's like, how do we better help that next person and set that next person up to like, you know, keep pass the baton on, you know, to the next person and like keep it going, and just like finding ways as like a cultivator and like a lab rat and like a chef, and then like definitely like more in the scene of like a business owner and making these products and teaching people about mushrooms and the benefits, and just like keep like reiterating over and over and being like, no, you don't understand, like these mushrooms are like magic. It's not like just magic mushrooms, but it's also like, you know, reishi and lion's mane and cordyceps and turkey tail and like all these mushrooms that are just like so great for us. And there's so many more that I didn't name, but um, yeah, man, it's a deep passion of mine, and it's cool to see it all mesh together and to see like other individuals like yourself doing some rad shit and like building out your business and then like taking these next steps and like
Now it's
building.
definitely business, dude.
It's fucking sick. It's dope. It's like really inspiring. Yeah, it just feels good to be in the scene with like a lot of people who are willing to collaborate more. You know,
Thanks, man. I feel the same about you. Um, you know,
appreciate.
as far as foraging, and there's a lot of things that I don't know, and what you seem to be your expertise seems to be involved in a lot of the things and parts of mycology that I'm currently trying to learn more about, and or just actively don't know much and haven't had the time to
Yeah,
do it yet.
yeah,
But it's cool, man. You're making noise around the community. A lot of like, I would like to say like the permaculture part of it, right? I think you're in that sense. It seems like you're very, you're just known around for everything, man. Not even just the permaculture.
yeah.
I'm just rambling. I do have a pretty
Appreciate it.
serious question for you though,
Yeah, yeah. I'm a
and
question.
I was wondering
What's that?
what your favorite flavor of ice cream is.
Damn. Lately, I feel like favorite. Like if I were to go to like a pint of ice cream and be like, this is what I'm gonna eat tonight. Salted caramel chip from McConnell's. I don't know if you heard of the McConnell's brand, but
I have not.
they're based out of Santa Barbara. It's just like really fresh and delicious, and just like kind of already delicious creamery ice cream shop. And then they have this salted caramel chip, like a chocolate chip with a salted caramel like base to it. So fucking good. I'm a sucker for like the salty sweet combination. Caramel's my favorite for sure. Yeah, it's good.
Dude, I bought some chocolate covered raisins because I was trying to be healthy. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna get chocolate covered raisins. And I was eating them, man, and they tasted like sea salt and sea salt and caramel. And I was like, there's no way these are raisins. And we ended up finding out that they're sea salt, caramel, chocolate covered raisins.
Oh shit! I was about to say you should have made like some sort of salted caramel raisin chocolate. That sounds fire. What
Dude,
the
it tasted like a little soft sea salt, like salted caramel ball. No raisin at all.
That
10
sounds
out of 10 would eat the whole package again.
yeah. That's fucking bomb. That sounds really good. I might have to make some of those myself. Just get some raisins and
I
coat
see
it
the wheels turning in the brain right now.
in salt on there, and then coat them in chocolate. Drop some little like GTs on there, and fucking
Dude, put
wrap
some
it up
freaking
and
morel salt on there.
yeah. Ooh, dude. Today's Sunday. It's my like day off just to fuck around and find out. So
Chocolate covered morel salt raisins
damn,
with a sprinkle of, with like a microdose
a microdose sprinkle of
microdose sprinkled. So you dust it with the microdose and then sprinkle some salt on top of that.
I'm gonna send you some for sure. That sounds fire. That sounds really good.
Honestly, though,
Uh,
this is what this is about. You know, we're all here. We're just chilling, having a chat, brainstorming.
yep, yep.
You know, no plan jams, man. Like the no plan jam podcast style is what I'm gonna call it. I hope other people hop on.
Good mix, bro. I'm fucking honored to have like birthed this idea out of out of fun fun Fungcast, Fung Straight Cast.
Fungcast, man. Fungcast, Fung Straight Cast. I am like the, you know, all of my business ventures, I just put the word fung in front of a
Fung.
word.
That's like the easiest. That's just like, yep. Go to Funcast, listen to all my stuff. Sounds good. That's where it's at, dude.
It's a Stody Baloney ideas, man.
That's what I'm talking
That's it.
about.
I think I said it on the podcast previously, but like Fungcast came from just smoking a doobie with the friend, or Fung Straight came from smoking a doobie with a friend.
Like that.
And it was just, I was like, everybody sells substrate, but nobody sells Fung Straight. Dude, everybody want to be Fetty Wap, but nobody want to lose an eye.
Like, damn, yeah. Like, oh, that's my business name. Oh shit, there's my business.
Dude, it wasn't even that, man. It was just like I was literally just trying to be like different, dude. I was like, I wanted to be a nonconformist.
Yeah.
So I would post like tubs with like variety name X Fung Straight. And it was like the corniest shit. I love it, dude. And I did that for fucking years. Everybody was like, what is feng straight? I was just like, substrate that I use to to grow. And that's why I say like the community helped me build it, because then people started to like ask like if they could buy it. And I was like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, community's rad. It's all about that support. So stoked for people just like it's all like word of mouth and people seeing what you're doing and just being like, yo, like I need a little extra help. Can I get some of that? Or like I see that your tubs are doing like really bomb. Or I feel like for me is like moving into like different substrates is like It's like, oh shit, I don't have to do that step anymore. And then I was like, oh shit, the homies are fucking making these bomb ass substrate mixes and like just like got it dialed in, you know?
Dude, and I mean, like, I guess while we're on this, like, substrate, realistically, dude, as long as your shit got field capacity, it'll grow. I think field capacity is the most important aspect of any form of substrate that you could possibly need. Whether that goes down, shout out to Tomas from mycology.
Fuck
He
yeah.
was like, bro, this morning he was like, bro, technically, like, agar is substrate if you think about it. I'm like, yeah, man,
Yeah, I mean,
because
they
it's like
do grow on the agar plates for sure.
it's like a growing medium, right? So it's like substrate is basically a growing medium that which you can grow things on or in.
Hmm.
And because, like, you got the hardwood substrate, you got a manure based substrate, you got cocoa based substrate, which is like manure but not manure based substrate genre.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then that's just for like mushrooms and freaking. You can use all different types of soils. The cactus need different soils, and those are all substrate. I don't like to call it dirt. Some people call it dirt, and I think it's an ugly word. It's
Yeah.
definitely
It's
soil.
like it's a lot more than just dirt. It's like it's a whole mixture of all these delicious ingredients that we're gonna feed the mushrooms. You know, it's like it's more than just dirt.
100%.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I was gonna ask you what's your favorite variety to grow?
um, well, I've never grown before, but Tampanensis sounds really fun.
Nice. Yeah, Tampanensis does sound fun. I've seen that before.
No, well, at least I've like that's been my you know personal experience. Um, Realistically, I love to grow all varieties. I just like to grow mushrooms, and that doesn't even necessarily,
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying doing gourmets as of lately. Right now, I really like growing reishi. I think currently it's my favorite mushroom to grow. I'm really, lion's mane and oysters are like a super close second.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but like reishi, dude, is so cool, and to get it to like antler out,
Fan it out or antler?
antlering it. But then I want to like my goal is to antler it and then fan it out at the top. So I've been playing with my growing conditions, trying to like, I don't know. I haven't really spoken to anybody about it, but my assumption is that you just like cut the oxygen, high CO2, and then just blast it with oxygen at the very end of the grow, and then it'll start to conk out.
Yeah. That's,
But
yeah. I've only grown antlers one. That was actually my first. That was my first grow. Was reishi. I got a bunch of bags from a homie who was gonna build out this like super sick like cob mushroom dome, and then like stick the antler blocks or the reishi blocks like inside underneath like the cap of the roof, and just have these like antlers growing out of the roof. Didn't go through. He had like 90 bags of reishi, and I was just like, "Fuck it! Like I'm gonna take it on. I'm gonna see what I can do," and just like
dude,
it was fucking wild. It was a sweet experience, and I like ended up doing it outdoors, which was interesting. Just like on a little like canopy. I just like set up a canopy. I did like everything you would do indoors, just outdoors in this canopy setup. Didn't have much of filter system for like outdoor breeze or keeping it,
yeah,
uh, sterile in there fully. And they just fucking grew. They were just like in their own bags, doing their own thing. And I like had a humidifier sort of in there, and just like fucking did their thing. And I ran it out, and it was a really great harvest. And I think like out of the 90 bags, maybe like 10 bags got contaminated. But yeah, Reishi's
then
fun.
that'll happen. Freaking A. A lot of people are like, I want to get away from contamination. It's like, well, then you're in the wrong field,
Yeah, they
brother
happen
or
all
sister.
the time. It's fucking happened to me before many times.
Yeah, I mean, I still get contamination.
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't
but
know who does it.
yeah, it's definitely there. If you're not growing trick, you're doing something wrong. Just kidding.
Yeah, I just embrace the professional trichoderma farmer vibe.
Yeah,
Um, Gosh, this podcast honestly has me wanting to go out on a hike to go forage some mushrooms, but I probably shouldn't. Um, but,
yeah.
maybe. Who knows? Who
Is there?
knows?
I mean, there's mushrooms out and about right now for you. In
Maybe. I'd like to say, if anything, they're starting to pop up because it's been raining for about 4 days now
mm,
with like a nice amount of rain. So it's like day one, everything just probably started going.
yeah,
Maybe have some pins going at this point or some
yeah.
cool things. I did want to say before I forgot, you made me think of a kind of a cool idea. I have a friend who hunts and he does like taxidermy stuff,
Hmm.
and it'd be cool to get like an animal skull, pack the eye holes with reishi, and then do a controlled grow so the reishi starts to grow out the skull.
Sick. That'd be dope.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah. Reminds me of who did that? Was it Ryan who did like the inoculated egg? Who inoculated an egg with cordyceps?
Yeah.
Kind of like that same
He,
thing.
dude, that's sick. The It's cool that he has the albino version as well.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, well, I mean, dude, it's been great talking to you, get to know you, Omar.
Yeah. Likewise.
Um, I'm not gonna lie, before I go to this nature hike, I got to finish all this grain work. I'd love to, speak more.
Yeah.
But today I think I just got to run.
For sure. No worries. No worries. Yeah, I totally get it. Keep it going.
Before we go though, like how can people find you on social media or the interwebs?
Yeah, yeah. I'm on at Ohms Collective Co on Instagram, and that's mostly where I do all my work. But then I have my personal account, which is at Entangled Mysfits, Misfits Mysfits, and doing a lot of events. I'll be at the Oklahoma Mushroom Festival this year, which I'm super stoked on, and probably down in Long Beach at their block party here at the end of this month. But yeah, I'm around.
Cool, man. Well, definitely you want to check out his pages. You got some quality content, high fives, positive vibes only,
Thanks.
and it's all sharing. It's all open source knowledge, baby. That's what it's about.
Yep, yep.
Um, Dude, but thanks so much for coming on the cast. I'm honored to have you on.
Like, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for having me on and chit chatting and just spitting back and forth and coming up with some great ideas. Appreciate it. And yeah, it was really great chatting with you.
Absolutely, and we should do it again. Have you on for a second episode, get a little update on the life and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be sick, bro. Yeah, there's lots to chat about and lots to jump into. And yeah, man, I'd be stoked. Be honored.
Sweet deal. Well, you have a nice rest of your day, buddy.
Thanks,
Thanks
man.
again for coming on the cast, and much love, Matt, brother.
Appreciate it. Thanks, brother. You too. Have a good one.
Thanks. You as well.
Later on.